Okay, this is the second coat of concrete over here, or cement mixture. This is with it wet. It'll dry a little darker than that. This still got to deal with certain spots. Oh, this such a mess in here. Like this is loose. I gotta deal with that. What I think I'm gonna do with all of them. That Blue Max sticks good. It's just that when it gets dusty or dirty, of course, anything that gets dirty won't stick to itself. So what I'm going to do is get plastic toothpicks and use them like nails. I'm going to stick them through them just to give it that strength, so it won't want to pull away. I'm going to angle it up on a. I'm going to angle it on a upward angle. So if it wants to lift up, it's going to be like fighting the toothpick, which is pointing down. So that should work for that. The concrete will hold it in place. Had a hard time getting under there. I got concrete in my eye for a day. It finally came out overnight. It's not looking bad, even though it still has the corners I don't like. It's gonna do its job, I guess. It has a green tint from concrete right now. That's normal. Sometimes it'll dry gray, but most of the time it's got a greenish color. Like I said, I'm gonna put that dye. It's called charcoal. This one is, what color is this one? Oh, terracotta. I just got them. I got different colors for different things at one time. I'm gonna be using the color to make, like, when I do the next coat, so I know what I've coated and what I didn't coat, because I want to make sure I coat everything several times with concrete. If I do it without the dye, I won't see the difference. It starts to look the same no matter what you do. From being wet to dry, it'll look the same. So I'll put dye in it just to make sure I'm completely covering each coat. But the final coat's going to be charcoal, which I can't seem to find now, but they're only like, I think, $3 a bottle. This is a 10-ounce bottle. A couple of drops go a long way. I've had those for years. So I did this half this morning. It took me like an hour and a half. I did several batches. I actually put 2 cups of water. I think these are 16-ounce cups. And then I put I think 5 cups. It's a mug, which I think is 10 ounces also. When I make it thicker, every time you dip the brush in, you suck out a little more liquid, and it gets drier and drier. Then I take more water and mix it into it, just a touch, just to get it looser, to able to paint it. Brushes, where are the brushes? I think I left them outside. I'm using 2 different brushes. This one is a nice brush at first, but the concrete gets too heavy for it, and it starts to sag like a person with dreadlocks. It starts hanging. This one was a cheap brush. It's got sharp bristles, and I'm finding that it's the best, because the concrete don't get too heavy. It doesn't get too heavy for it, and when you keep it stiff, and when it gets loose, when it's looser, you're still able to get into the corners because it's nice and thin. Well, it was thin, now it's getting thicker. But yeah, these brushes, they start bending. It looks just like dreadlocks. I had to keep putting in the water and rinsing it out when it got too much out of control, and was able to rework with it. The only problem with cement is, because you're doing so much at one time, I think I'm saying bristles. You're doing so much at one time that first of all, it dries right away. You have to wet the concrete before you start painting. I keep forgetting to do that. Wet the old concrete before you put new on top of it, new coat, because it sucks the liquid right out of the concrete and dries it right up as soon as it hits it. It's called like a flash set. It like just sucks the water right out of it. You don't really want that, but when I'm in the middle of doing it, I forget to do it. But anyway, too thick, you'll start to get lines from the paintbrush. I found if you had a dry roller, you just roll over it, it has nice texture, it makes it look better. But like I said, this is too complicated to do it too quickly. It's still wet, I still can work with it. But if you run like a paintbrush over it, you can get rid of those lines and stuff like that. Too wet, it starts to, when it dries, it don't look like rock, it looks powdery. So you just got to figure out ways of making it so it's not like that. When I do the trees, it's easier because you're not doing so much at one time, and the texture looks like trees anyway. When you like dab it with the paintbrush, like you do like that, it comes out nice. But yeah, there's so many ways of trying to get rid of those lines. So like I said, the first couple of coats I don't care anyway. I want those lines, it gives it strength. So when the next coat goes on it, there's more to hold on to it. You just start losing detail. The more coats you put on it, the more detail you lose, because it's of course coating it. That's the part that had the spray foam. When I get to the bottom of the pail, the cement's on the bottom, I scooped it out and I just rubbed it all over that thing where it wouldn't want to stick, but it's sticking. The more you put on, the better. And there's that corner over there. It's gonna look better. I wasn't gonna paint the bottoms. If you notice, the bottoms I kept like that so I can do something on the bottom. The bottom. But it's concrete's spilling everywhere, and I'm getting tired of like taking a long time with this thing, so I just started painting all the way to the bottom. I might just coat it so much with concrete you ain't gonna see that lip. I've done that to a bearded dragon habitat, where I just kept putting cement all over the bottom. It had like a white sandy bottom. That's what I'm probably gonna do here. The bottom's gonna probably be a white cement. I have this white masonry cement. It sort of dries white, but it's gray right now, but it has a whitish thing. And they do have white cement, Portland cement. So if that doesn't turn out right, I'll just get some white cement, mix it with sand, and coat the bottom several times with it. Give it a nice strong bottom. I just got to keep it away from where I'm going to glue the tree and the castle to the bottom. I'll take a video of it a little while and attach them together so you can see when it dries, it's going to be darker than that. Well, maybe not. We'll just see it in the next video. But yeah, it's getting better. It's looking nice. And I wanted, the darker it is, the better, because you won't see much details or fault if there's any fault. So I'll make sure I put, I'm going to make it dark. Hopefully the bottom is going to be white, where it's going to reflect the light a little bit and give it some kind of a, like you can see, like when the light hits it, it gives that dramatic shadows. That's pretty cool. I like that. So I want to try to keep that shadow to make it have like a mystery back there, like it's actually continuing on, not like it ends there. Plus the flat part that I didn't put concrete on, styrofoam I mean, it's looking better. I took the bottom of the cement of the bucket and I stuck it in the crack, filled in the crack a little bit, and it actually don't look bad. There's a crack up there and it don't look bad. I'm such a pessimist, so when I'm always thinking something's gonna look wrong, and it always turns out better than I think. So it's looking better. And even if it doesn't get better, it still looks great for my own tank that I didn't pay for, and it looks more natural than a glass back. I did the top to make sure it's gonna have the strength all around. I don't want it to be ending here and then like break off, so I want that like a coat, like a shield. The more concrete, the better. And stuff like this, I don't know if it's gonna really matter. Well, this one is really bad. This one is like almost half of it is loose. I don't think it's gonna really matter as long as it's somewhat secure, because like I said, the more concrete you put on, the styrofoam don't even have to be there anymore. It'll make its own shape and strength. I didn't like this way it was looking over here. I'm gonna keep beefing up with the cement in there and make it look better. In a little while, I'm gonna do the second half. I still got to get more spray foam. Got to cover that pipe up. And the only reason I didn't put a lot on there with the other can, they say it's going to expand a lot. So I put a little bit. Hopefully it's going to expand around it. Now I'm going to have to get it and just go crazy with it. Just spray it all over until it covers. Then I can chisel it out and make it look like some kind of a pole or something like that. Or, I don't know. We'll see. I still want to put like a boulder over here. Maybe with some caves and stuff. But it's all the details are getting complicated with covering it with concrete. But hopefully it's going to be worth it.